All right, welcome back to the Edge Podcast with Chip and Christy. I'm your host, Chip McCarter, and with me, as always, the lovely Christy Ogle. Here on the Edge Podcast, we've been talking and putting a lot of focus into opening a handyman business or scaling an already existing handyman business. This week, we wanted to give you 7 reasons why choose opening a handyman business over college. Really just 7 reasons. It doesn't necessarily even have to be over college, but choosing opening a handyman business over whatever it is that you've been thinking about doing. We can basically paint a crystal clear picture on why, even if you're not a handyman, you can get into this niche and make a bunch of money. Christy, what's the outline of what we're about to talk about? Like, what's your perception of why people should do this?
So people ask us all the time, young people will come up to Chip and I and go, do you think it's a good idea to start a handyman business over college? And if you've truly got the skills, my answer is yes, because you have way more control over your life when you have your own business other than going to a job just over a bro. You get this freedom, this flexibility, and you can have great income. But a lot of people, they have one thing that's holding them back, Chip.
And what is that?
Fear.
Yeah, I was going to say mindset. That would have been my guess. But ultimately, yeah, fear, 100%.
Yeah, and then they get this great idea to open their business, and they mention it to their family and friends, which are the biggest dream stealers around.
Oh, yeah.
10x their life. So they're going to always say, go get a good job. I mean, I even heard that from my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law when I started this business. And I told them that we were going to start a little bit of handyman business in Waco, Texas. And they said to my husband, no. Go back, get a college degree, become a coach like you've always wanted to do, and make $40,000 a year working 80, 90 hours a week. So you have to remember that when you go to your family and say, hey, I want to start a handyman business, or hey, I want to start a business of any sort. They've never done anything like that. They've probably only done the job. And that's the life that they chose to live. But there is a different way. And the person that really opened my eyes to this was Robert Kiyosaki with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He had a rich dad that he learned from, which was his best friend's dad, who was an entrepreneur in the real estate market in Hawaii. And then he had Poor Dad, who was a professor at a college and lived almost without any extra income and died with nothing. So there is a big difference. You can work that job for 30, 40, 50. One of my brother-in-laws just retired this week with 42 and a half years of service at a job, which is unbelievable in 2022 that you stay somewhere for that long. But he retired from it, and it was funny. Like, his wife put congratulations on your retirement from the cheese plan after 42.5 years. And I noticed over 100 people commented on this saying, hey, congratulations, you're retiring. Whereas if one of my friends says, hey, I opened a new business, they get 3 likes. Even though it's easy to retire, it is. You just say, I'm retired and you're done after 42 and a half years. No offense, brother-in-law. But then a friend opens a business and they get 2 or 3 likes, because that's the dream stealers going, they're never going to make it.
Well, I don't want them to succeed if I haven't succeeded in that way. Everybody, a lot of people just have that, if I can't do it, I don't want anybody to do it mentality. And it's easy to drag you down. I mean, Christy's 100% right. My family, my friends, it's all the same thing. It goes hand in hand with that. There was like a meme out there one time that said something along the lines of, if Rihanna creates a new perfume, everybody automatically thinks she's going to make millions because they see her as a success successful entertainer, but then somebody down the street, creates their own perfume, and your automatic thought is, oh, well, they'll fail, and within 6 months they'll be bankrupt.
Yeah.
And that's just a natural thought and how people think. But these are going to be the 7 reasons over college. So 7 reasons why you should do this over going to college. And number 1, I bet you everybody watching and listening, I bet you, Chris, you can guess what the number 1 is, because you hear people talking about this the rest of their life once they graduate college, and that's no college debt. College debt can suffocate you to the point of insanity. It's so expensive. It's insanely expensive. You're spending at least 40 to 80 grand a semester, if I'm not mistaken. It's a ridiculous amount of money for getting out to make $40, $50, $60,000 a year, which is majority of the jobs.
My daughter applied at a university in Texas. She got accepted. She got all of the scholarships that she could possibly get. And so I call them right before she's to go for that final piece to lock everything in. And I said, okay, you've got everything that you need. She's gotten all the scholarships, all the award letters. How much is it going to cost a semester for her to go to this college? They said over $20,000 a semester. This was not Stanford. This wasn't Yale. This was a university in Texas that was not very well known. I mean, the Texans know it, but it's not like a big prestigious college. A 18-year-old kid going to college, that was just the first semester. Every semester after that, when it went up, her degree was going to take 5 or 6 years. You're talking $50,000 to $150,000 in college debt before she even gets out, that she has to start paying on 6 months later, that she can never default on, that she can't file bankruptcy on, and her job that she would have been able to get after this only paid on average about $25,000 to $40,000 a year. So it would have taken her years if she put everything into the college loan. That's why the government's still talking about it after coronavirus, to totally get rid of paying back some student loan. It's funny, the government will hand an 18-year-old kid $10,000 for a college degree, but they won't give him $10,000 to start a small business. It's a messed up kind of society. You're not going to get that money back for many, many, many years. Whereas if you gave a $10,000 startup loan, you would get that back really rapidly. So think about what you're getting your degree in. Find out what the average income is and how much it's going to take you to pay it off, and how much your college loans are going to cost you monthly. They're probably going to cost you more than your house or your cars. And know how much that degree is costing you time-wise and also dollar-wise. And think about the return on investment. Do the same thing with the handyman business. You start making money from job number 1.
Yep.
And it's all yours. You don't have to split it with anybody. You have to pay your taxes on it, but you do get your money back. So what's the true cost of a college education, waiting 4, 6, 8 years to really start your life? Or just going in and starting a business in the trades, whether it be handyman or landscaper or painter or whatever it may be? What's the true cost of college versus a business? I think it leans towards the business and opening a business. For sure.
For sure. And number 2, and this comes along with our 10X Handyman program, but number 2, there's hands-on training from people with years of experience. So with this 10X Handyman program, you're getting hands-on. You're getting people that have actually done what you're doing and can help guide you in the right direction. Whereas, in college, it's generic studies is the way I think about it. They don't give you specific what to do. They just give you a bunch of scenarios and how you might handle it almost on like a very broad and generic spectrum, instead of very narrowed with our 10X Handyman and hands-on training. You can't beat that. I mean, the only thing close to beating that would be a technical college. And honestly, I believe that that's a better option than the 4-year college. So, the hands-on experience that you're going to get from going out and doing jobs, taking the calls and making the sales, prospecting, marketing, anything, the whole thing that comes along with opening a business. Our 10X Handyman program we're right there with you, almost holding your hand the whole way. We're helping you to where you get the hands-on, where instead of just watching somebody else do it, you get to do it yourself and get the feel and get comfortable with it.
Exactly. You get this hands-on experience that you don't get anywhere else. You get to ask questions of people that are in the field. You can find mentors who've done what you want to do and build what you want to build. That's how we began our handyman business. Is we really didn't know anything about the handyman world when we first began our first handyman business. And I think it was called Rent My Husband. And that was about 25 years ago to get my husband through college. And we learned how to do what we did from YouTubeology. I remember the first time I painted a ceiling. I'd never painted a ceiling before. So I went on YouTube and I Googled, how to paint a ceiling. I grew up in Missouri. We didn't have pergolas in Missouri. So we had the first customer that wanted to build that first pergola. Of course, we didn't say, hey, this is our first pergola ever.
Yeah.
We acted like we did it a million times. Max went on YouTube. He learned how to build a pergola, and 10 years later, still a happy customer with our first pergola, and we've built thousands since then. So you can learn from what others have done before you and take those decades, put them into days, and you can take those hundreds of thousands of dollars that people have paid in this stupid tax so that you don't have to do it. But you can learn from others who've done what you want to do. You can read their books, you can read their blogs, you can listen to their podcasts, you can watch them on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or whatever. So you get this hands-on training experience that you don't get with college. I know that when I graduated college, I was like, okay, I graduated, now what? Well, I had a degree in psychology. There's not people that are advertising, I want to hire people with degrees in psychology. So I had to kind of figure it out. I became an ice cream store manager. I became a collections manager at a furniture store. I really didn't know what to do with my college degree. And I think the majority of people that get a college degree, especially in like health education or psychology or communications, you really don't know what job you're going to end up with. And you get there and then you get hired by a company and then you get trained by them. And really the college degree is not needed. When I was a service coordinator, never once did I go, okay, in college, I learned about the Old Testament. How's that going to help me in building or helping somebody get housing for the night? So, I mean, those college degrees are not, I mean, if you're specifically becoming a kindergarten teacher, yes, of course, you're going to need college, or you're becoming a doctor. Yeah. Please, before anybody cuts into me, let's make sure you have a real college degree. But a lot of people get that college degree because that's the next phase of life. That's what mom and dad and grandma and grandpa tell you to do. But they get the college degree, they do nothing with it. I can't tell you how many of my college friends did not go into the area that they studied for 4, 6, 8 years. Instead, they started their own business and they make a hell of a lot more money than anything they would have ever gotten in that field. So you have to consider that hands-on training and experience is priceless. And that's what we do with Handyman Business Fundamentals, that 10X Handyman program, is we give you that hands-on experience, especially from Chip. He's got that gray knowledge right there, right? No, you don't.
Yeah. I'm getting it. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, so corporate America has been dead for a while, but there are still a big percentage of people instilling corporate America ideas and belief into their kids' heads. That's what our generation was raised to believe, that you go get a good job that has good insurance and that you find a secure job. But in all honesty, there is no such thing as a secure job anymore. There's no companies that people are staying with for sure, guaranteed the whole life. It's not the same as it used to be. And I'll tell you this, number 3 on here on the 7 reasons, the potential to make money not only is immediate, you can make money the day that you open the business, but you have potential to make 6 figures, 7 figures. If you keep scaling and growing and listening to these podcasts, joining the 10X Handyman and working on it, I would go as far as to say you can get into the 8 figures if you actually stay focused and keep moving forward. You can do it. It's almost the potential is endless. Anything can happen. But your potential for making money not only is immediate, you can turn around and make the money back immediately that you spent, and but the potential is just super high.
Yeah, can you get rich with the trades? Of course you can. Does everyone get rich in the trades? No. I've seen a lot of people that have not been successful, and I've seen a lot of people be successful, but the true people that are actually successful take that imperfect action over and over and over again. The average person in the trades going into it year 1 makes between $36,000 and $57,000. There's very few people that get out of college and make that kind of money from the very, very beginning. The first official job I got out of college, there was a professional job that I worked, 50, 60 hours a week. I make less than $10 an hour. My first year out, I averaged about 53 hours a week, and I made about $26,000 that year. I got a 25-cent raise if everything was going well. So 25 cents times 40 hours, what is that? Like $20 a week? I don't even know. It wasn't. Yeah. It's an extra $10 a week.
It's just not worth it. Yeah.
Seriously, that's all you're gonna get is that 20, unless you move up. And I couldn't move up in that position unless I got more college. So you can make a lot of money. A few weeks ago, Chip and I did a podcast on how to make $100,000 a year as a handyman. There is nowhere that I could go with my degree in psychology that I ever found to make over $50,000. And this business is a helping business. It's a service-based business. We get to help other people beautify their homes and have a better life. So it's an honest living, helping people get what they want. The bigger your business is, the more money that you're going to make. And you have to get smart with it. In the beginning, you can be the one swinging the hammer, but you also need to be able to transition out of that and become hammer-free, be an absentee owner, so you can work on building the business that you own instead of working in it. Because if you work in the business, you've just got a job. You're an owner when you're growing the business. So the first year in business, we did it part-time. We did about 36,000 and had full-time jobs on top of that. The second year, first full year we were in business, the second year in business, we did $1.25 million in sales. So can you make a lot of money in the handyman business? Yes.
Yeah. For sure. Now, but you also have to be, like Christy said, you have to be willing to grow. You can't by yourself. No, you can make a good living being the owner, operator, manager, handyman, doing it all. You can make a decent living between that 40 to 60 grand a year. But scaling wise, hiring employees, that's how you actually start getting into that big money. We are not telling you that you alone can go out there and make 7 figures. We're telling you that you alone can make it happen, but you have to scale it. You have to hire out contractors, employees. There's a lot that goes along with it, but the potential, like she said, it's endless. You can grow to however big you want it. People need these services everywhere in the world. There's no one area that doesn't need a handyman there to fix everything, because not everybody can fix every little small thing around their house. So there's always going to be a need for handyman. Always. It's never going to go away. Number 4, the more motivated you are and the more you learn and actually stay open-minded and actually learn and soak in the knowledge, the more that you're going to earn. So this isn't some niche that you cap out at the knowledge. Like once you get here, you know everything and there's no other place to grow. That's not there. There is always a place to grow in this niche. You should always be learning new things and always trying to understand your niche, understand what you do in your work, because that way, the more you learn, the more you earn.
Exactly. The more you learn, the more you earn. That's true in every area of your life. Well, you're a handyman. What do you need to learn? Well, when you become a handyman, you need to learn the skills to become a handyman, but then you have a business. So you need to learn the 7 different key areas in a business: financials, legal, marketing, sales, scalability, customer service. So there's so many different areas that you need to learn in business. So become the handyman first. Then learn to build your handyman with systems to make it easier for you to have freedom and flexibility. Then you do world-class marketing so you can make more money. Oh, here's one, Chip. The hardest thing in any business in 2022, because of the Great Resignation, is hiring. How do you hire people? Hiring the wrong person can set you back years. I remember when we were first scaling our business, I had a good friend who he got let go from an automotive industry. And I thought, he's great in the auto industry. I'll just bring him over because we have the same values. I really like him. I think I could work with him. And he was this 60 or 70-year-old guy, but he came over. I was paying him the same amount I was paying me because I thought he was better than me. Yeah. And I was paying him the same amount, and he almost bankrupted our company because he was the wrong person. I brought my best friend along to be my CFO. And instead of me learning how the financials of the business, I told her to. She didn't do it, and she bankrupted us. So the thing is you have to do the learning yourself. When you learn more and you do more, the owner's income goes up. So when you hire the right person, I can teach you how to hire the right person because I've hired so many wrong ones. Actually grow your business. If you're hiring a handyman and they work 50 weeks out of the year and you're just charging $500 a day, you're not even doing the average of $585 a day, that person is worth $146,250. So if you're the handyman out there working the 50 hours a week, you're capped at that's how much you can make. But if you're hiring the right people and you're getting A+ handyman into your business, scalability is much more fathomable. So if you have all the skills to be a handyman and you're ready to hire that next person, you need to learn how to hire the right person. I've been researching all over the internet for people that teach people to hire the A+ players on your team. And there's nobody out there. So that's why Chip and I were like, we need to teach people to hire the right people because each one of the right handyman is worth $146,250. I would say if you hire the wrong person, it can cost you double or triple that amount, don't you think, Chip?
Yeah, for sure. And make no mistake, you will hire the wrong people.
You will.
You have to be the one to make that decision and cut your losses. And on the very far end of the spectrum, when you get that good contractor, it's now on you to keep them. So what are you going to do to keep them once you get them? And number 5, I did touch on this already, but supply and demand. In the handyman industry, like I just said earlier, there will always be a need for you. There will always be a need to fix. Things break all the time, and not everybody knows how to fix it. People move constantly, and they need people to paint their house. Some people make a lot of money and want you to remodel their house, but there's always going to be a need niche for someone to fill, because contractors do the big jobs. And then, but then that's why people are always confused. Well, who do I call to do this? And that's when they start figuring out. I think my mom was the one that told me not too long ago, I didn't even know the handyman industry was an industry. I didn't realize that people have businesses all over with, in just this niche. But it's 100% true. Supply and demand. You're in need. They need you, and they want you to come do what you do. You just have to find, where that supply and demand is, and find how to step in and fill that gap.
Yeah, I mean, you can take the handyman industry. It's forecasted to be a $680 billion industry by 2025. Why is it going to be that big? Well, millennials have no skills, and my theory is 50% of all millennials were part of a divorcee family, so they get first, third, and fifth with dad. When they go to dad, they didn't want to learn skills. Dad wanted to be the fun dad, right? So he would take them and do stuff on those weekends instead of teaching them how to change a tire or how to fix a drywall hole, that sort of thing. Plus, millennials didn't spend a lot of time with their parents. So now millennials want to spend all this time, free time, with their family. That's great, but they don't want to take time to do the honeydews. They don't want to argue over the same thing that their parents argued about. So there's so many different theories I have to why it's such a big industry, because it's only a $225 billion industry right now, but it's going to be huge in 2025. So there's no skilled handyman out there. Another reason is 90% of all handyman businesses are owned by people 50 years and older. So
oh yeah,
Generation Xers and baby boomers, and guess what? They're all retiring. So you can use that gray knowledge, hook up with somebody that's been in the industry for a while, learn from them, and become a skilled handyman. Another thing about the handyman business, that supply and demand, is the recession is coming. This is a recession-proof business. It survived and thrived during a global pandemic. I was bankrupt before the pandemic, and after the pandemic, I have this 7-figure business. So what businesses do well during a recession? Essential service-based industries thrive during a recession. So getting into this industry is the right choice.
For sure. Number 6 is stability in the industry. This industry is not going anywhere. It is stable. It is strong. I mean, I feel like I'm being a little repetitive, and I know I am, but it's so true. There is stability in the handyman industry. There's no reason to think that it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. So when you're thinking about, college or opening my own business, think about, what industry are you trying to get into when you go to college? Is it going to still even be around? Since COVID and the shift in the 2020, there's been niches just fall off. There's been industries that just are null and void. People don't even use whatever it is that they had going on. And there's a lot of niches like that. This is not that niche. The handyman niche is stable, not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, like Christy said, it's growing exponentially.
Yeah, society as a whole is more acceptable to hiring out work now. We're in this gig economy, Chip. So it used to be uncommon to have a housekeeper, a landscaper, a handyman It was just something that wealthy families had. But now it is not uncommon for middle class to hire a handyman, to have a housekeeper, to have a dog walker, a nanny, and most importantly, that handyman to maintain the home. So basically, there's never been as high of demand for our services as they are now. But the interesting thing is, the handyman industry is unsophisticated. Nobody until this time has said, hey, this could be a real sustainable business that you could make 6-7 figures on, that you can 10x your $20,000 little bitty handyman business. And by putting some system structure and working on your mindset, you can have a handyman empire. Nobody has done that until Chip and I. We're the #1 handyman coaching program in the world. And all you have to do is go to the handymanbusinesscoach.com/handyman-biz-fundamentals to find out more, because we can teach you, because we've done it. We know how to 10x your handyman business and start it and scale it very, very rapidly.
Yep. And number 7, the last reason, with 10X Handyman, with our Handyman fundamentals, if you do exactly what the trainings tell you to do, if you stay connected to the coaches and work hard, and this is unlike college, which is just generic studies in the field. They're not telling you exactly what to do. But if you stick with the program and do what you're told, you will succeed in this niche. As long as you stay focused, keep the right mindset, and just do exactly what the program has laid out for you to do, you will have a successful handyman business. And we can even guarantee within the next couple of years, you'll be breaking 6-7 figures.
Yeah, it's unlike college. Like I said, I went to college. I started at a job and it had nothing to do with the psychology that I learned in college. So it's unlike college. It's got this personal fulfillment that from day one, I can make money and I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do. So is it worth it, the handyman business? I say yes, because the true cost is freedom, flexibility, and big pay, right? You can't do that necessarily with a college degree. If you want to make amazing money, you can do it in the trades, whether it be a handyman, a landscaper, a maid, or whatever it is that you want to do. So remember that. What's the true cost of college? What's the return on investment in college? The true cost to start your own handyman business and running it over the years. What's your return on investment?
Yeah, what's your ROI? That's what everybody wants to know anyways. But this, with Handyman Business Fundamentals, you can 10X a handyman business easily, and you can grow to a very comfortable living. And the way I like to look at it is our program, Handyman Business Fundamentals, or 10X Handyman, whatever you want to call it. Our program is like a technical hands-on college. We are going to get you to where you want to be in that niche. And instead of it being like a drawn out 4 years with a whole bunch of generic studies in the area, it's very specific down to a T, what you need to be doing, how you need to be marketing, how you need to be doing your sales. We cover everything. So if you definitely are interested at all, you should reach out to us, because this is something that anybody can do. And I'm very confident when I say that.
Chip, what is your favorite thing about owning a handyman business?
In all honesty, I love the feeling of completing a good job and seeing that I've helped somebody, beautify their home or repair something that's been broken forever at their house that they've just procrastinated on. The fulfillment that you get after each job would be probably my favorite. That and the financial freedom once you get the jobs coming in correctly.
My favorite part is the freedom and flexibility I get with my life. Nobody tells me where to go, when to go there. The other day I was going with a friend to go shopping and she goes, well, what time do you want to go? And I'm like, in the afternoon. And she's like, yeah, but what time? Do you want to leave at 11:30 or 12:30? So I mean, I get this freedom and flexibility, and now I'm kind of annoyed with a clock because I can do what I want, when I want, how I want to, and I get this big pay even when I'm playing.
Exactly. Exactly. So guys, or Christy, anything else though that you wanted to touch on before we sign off?
You guys make sure and join us on Thursday. Just go to that handymanbusinesscoach.com. It is on all of our posts. Click on that link, register for the free 10X web class, how you can 10X your handyman business. And if you don't have a handyman business, you can start it and get it to 6 and 7 figures within that first full year. We take decades, put it into days, and the hundreds of thousands of dollars of knowledge Chip and I have, and put it into something small so that you can start making money immediately in your handyman business. So join us 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Just click on the link and get registered.
All right, guys, stay safe. We love you. And for now, this has been the Edge Podcast with Chip and Christy.